Hello, everyone. How's it going? My name is Luis Aguilar. I'm a civil engineering major here at Cal Poly Pomona. But before that, I was a 2020 high school graduate, as I'm sure some of you were as well. And I know it seems pretty bad with the whole pandemic thing, especially at that time being in full effect. But I was lucky enough to actually have a ceremony. But it was an individual ceremony, and it was kind of on a racetrack in the middle of my beautiful hometown, Fontana, California. So, me and my friends were greeted in the safety of our cars by our principal and some of our teachers as well. And they then proceeded to give us some of the blankest stares that I've ever seen, as if they were noticing us for the first time. But I'm guessing it was kind of a way to reflect the way that we looked at them during their classes and their lectures. So I guess it kind of evens itself out. But it did feel a bit weird, graduating that way and not really feeling that sense of acknowledgement and, I guess, success to really get past that. But now, as a person in the middle of adulting, I plan to tell you a little bit about myself. I will be unraveling a little bit about my personal life to you, as well as my desire for knowledge and new experiences. So, first, I'm going to tell you guys about my wonderful family. Then, I'm going to go into my favorite hobby ever, listening to music. Then, I'm going to explain a little bit about my major and my future plans. So let's get into this whole unraveling session with something that I hold very near and dear to my heart: my family. Now, family to me, it always comes first. And as some of you can relate, I am a first generation Mexican American, and I currently live with my two parents and my two younger siblings. Now, being the oldest and being first generation comes with a lot of responsibility for me. I feel like my parents came to this country with one goal in mind, and that being to have the best possible future for the kids, and I take that as my responsibility to fulfill that goal and to really set a good example for my siblings so they could be, even more successful than me in the future. Now, growing up in a Mexican household was very chaotic, especially considering the fact that I primarily grew up in my grandma's house with about 10 other people living there at the same time until I was about 14. But that experience really helped me realize how important family is and how you could come up out of a situation with good vibes, good mentality, even if you aren't in the best mindset throughout the whole time. But many ways I would isolate myself through that chaos in that house when I was younger would be picking up several hobbies and pastimes. And my favorite pastime to this day is listening to music and collecting CDs for my favorite toy in the world: this thing. This is my CD player that I've had ever since my 8th birthday, and I've been hooked on it ever since. I love analyzing the little things in music, like the backing tracks and the production of the songs, and really getting into, the eye of the artist, or, the world they kind of create in the music. And music in and of itself has really given me the sense of comfort ever since I was little, and really helps really back outside, any negative energy that I'm trying to avoid, helps me avoid it. And music in general has really shaped so much of who I am as a person, and I feel like I would be completely different without it. So I'm really grateful for that. And one of the many stressful things that music helped me cope with, especially during my high school years, was my thoughts on the future. And the future could be really, really scary, especially at the time. You don't know what's going to happen next, you don't know where you're going to go. But now, at this span of time, I feel like I feel very confident in myself and my goals that I will be willing to achieve them no matter what. Now, as you guys know, I'm a civil engineering major, and once I'm done with my bachelor's, I plan to get a job out of state and start life there with a clean plate, clean environment, new people. And the reason I took up civil engineering was because I wanted to be an engineer. I knew that from pretty much since I got out of high school. But I also didn't want to be cooped up in an office or be sitting in front of a computer all day. So I took civil as a good mix of both worlds. You could be outside leveling or elevation, or you could be inside, working on your projects as well. And to be fair, the paycheck is pretty good as well. It's always a good factor to realize. My future away from college looks a little bit like this. I plan to be working for the government because that's the way most civil engineers go. But I also plan to move to Oregon or Washington or possibly even NorCal, because if I'm be honest with you, Southern California is deteriorating by the day. Like, I love it to death. I always will, but it's not looking too good for us right now. And my plan for making this happen is very, very simple, and that is to find every single excuse in the book, just throw it out the window, burn it, let it die, stomp on it, because excuses are gonna get you nowhere. You've got to achieve your goals through and through, and just be determined enough to, fight off whatever else stands in your way. Now, the things I've shared with you are all essentials of my life and stuff that are kind of always on my mind. And to wrap things up and make sure you guys didn't forget these pivotal things in my life, they were my family, listening to music, and my future life goals inside and outside of college. So hopefully I've unraveled enough about myself and my desire for new sets of experiences and knowledge. And I truly hope you guys enjoy learning a little bit more about me as I plan to learn a little bit more about you. Thanks.